Welcome to another great episode of 21st Century Disability. On today's episode, we have as our guest Mr. Zylo Marshall, who is a former real estate agent who suffered brain damage as a young child. So, without further ado, I give you Zylo Marshall. Welcome, Zylo.
Thank you. Thank you very
Zylo,
much.
why don't we start out by you telling the audience a bit about yourself?
Well, as an infant in 1976, my mom hit a tree and I almost died, went through the windshield of a car, which caused me to be in a coma for a few weeks and then have neurological brain damage. So I have a plate put in my head, which limits my ability to learn and understand things properly and how to deal with situations, concept issues that other kids may be able to handle easily. And it's hard when those without disabilities, they don't understand the challenges that those with the disabilities face. And of course, then you get rejected because
Absolutely. As in your childhood, Zylo, how did you um, how did you learn to adapt to your disability?
I can
Oh,
do whatever I want. Don't understand that there are rules in life you got to follow. If you don't follow those rules, the same standards, that you're not going to be respected in the same way. And so there's a lot of kids out there that are not nice kids because they don't understand what you should and shouldn't do
yeah.
on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely. Well, even in my experience in high school, I faced a lot of bullying based on my disability. And what I now know was early signs of ableism. Did you find that same thing in that type of environment?
Yes, I was bullied. I was teased. You know, and put down. I went to the principal's office because I wasn't, and they don't understand, that I have a disability, but I did something inappropriate. And again, you get bullied, but then you got to understand how to handle the situation
Mm-hmm.
properly and not be inappropriate to the degree that, you're not going to be accepted because you are not being good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you either grow out of that or you become that your whole life, thinking your disability is your leveraging tool to do whatever you want. And it's not that way, because you either got to grow out of it or you deal with it and you live in a shell because you don't know how to deal with life. You don't know the challenges that we all face
Mm-hmm.
being disabled.
Mm-hmm. And so you were telling me in our last conversation, you spoke to me about how you became uh, a real estate agent as a young professional. As a young professional, can you maybe share a bit about your journey into the real estate agent career and discuss how your disability has influenced your practice, both positively and negatively?
Well, with being a realtor, you have to have somebody help you step by step, step by step. This is above
Mm-hmm.
and beyond the childish behavior that kids face. You learn to grow out of life. So I was a real estate agent with another realtor, broker, who was also an attorney, who we went out day after day, all the time, looking at properties, knocking on doors, to people and trying to understand how do you deal with these situations above and beyond your disability. How does somebody deal with people who might lose their home, who might have code violations, who might want to sell their home? So, you know, you have to be able to deal with that. And most people could just go pass a test and they know how to deal with life and those situations because they learned that growing up. And I had to learn that on my own, just trying to understand life and accepting what people say and not taking it personal.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely.
I'm my house, why are you bothering me? You know, that's nothing personal to you. It's just they don't want to be bothered, and you didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in our last conversation as well, you mentioned and focused a lot of the conversation on how the current government legislation is affecting your career. So, could you elaborate on those challenges and how they've influenced your professional journey? You live in Sacramento, California, correct?
Yes.
And so, how has the you're saying the federal legislation is impacting your life and career?
Yeah, if I want to get like any other person, if any other disabled person wants to get any kind of job, rather working at Walmart or rather working for yourself, okay, you got to follow rules that the government set up for you. And if you break those rules, they will cut off your SSI, knowing that you made more money than you should, that you are making money through as a investor or whatever, and you're not
Mhm,
telling them, okay, so you've done fraud or something of that degree, because they have to, you know, if they're giving you if you're on a welfare program, you know, they're giving you money to live, okay, they want you to stay right there and live that life for the rest of your life. But the people that want to go beyond that and become successful need guidance, help, and understanding. Well, I can do this, but I can't do that. With legislation, we can make rules if you want to make money. Uh, for example, let's just say someone gets $1,000 a month on SSI
mhm,
and they have a job and they for the first 3 months they're working just fine. Okay, it would make sense to have the Social Security Administration say, okay, hey, listen, you worked 3 months, we're going to decrease your amount to $750. 6
mhm,
months, $500. Uh, um, 9 months, $250. And then a year, they cut it off because you've actually showed them that you can do it on your own and you don't need Social Security. Okay.
mhm,
You still have your disability. You can't change that, but they helped you gradually do that process without having to affect your SSI and not having you go back to the Social Security Administration, sitting there for hours to have them tell you no. You can't get a new one. You have to reapply and wait 6 months. Okay. So that's why many people just sit there and do nothing because they don't know how to. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the expertise. They got to get an attorney. And that's where it's very, very challenging because then you have nowhere to go. You have nothing. And many people with disabilities are adults on their own, uh, taking care of themselves on the everyday basis. These are the ones that are independent that can take care of themselves. I'm disabled. I take care of myself. I have a son. I take care of my bills, all the things you got to take care of as an individual. Okay. These are the ones we're talking about. The ones that can't
mhm.
do anything, that are confident to go out there and do those things, those are the ones we don't need to worry about because if they can't do it, how are we going to help them do it? Okay. So those are the challenges that they that they face. Those that want to go out there and do something themselves, should be given the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I know for me, I'm a Canadian citizen, Zylo, and I absolutely understand where you're coming from because I am currently living on what's called ODSP, the Ontario Disability Support Program.
Mhm.
And so, the Ontario government, which is a provincial government here, they say to me, okay, well, we will pay for the majority of your medical bills. Um, but and they are currently paying for my room and board at the complex care unit that I live in. But should I, like you said, should I start to earn money more than I think $1,000 a month, they will cut me off. And it is, I like to think it's a program designed to keep disabled people in poverty. And so what in your mind? What would you say that an ideal an ideal way of fixing the problem that disabled Americans and people alike are facing today?
You're a comedian, correct?
Pardon?
You say you're a comedian, correct?
I'm a Canadian.
Oh,
Yeah, I live in Canada. Yeah.
okay. I apologize. Okay.
No
Uh,
worries.
it's about commission based. Let's say if you work for a Walmart, they pay you, and it goes through the process of the government knowing that they pay you. If you work as a realtor, if you work as a comedian, if you work as a public speaker, okay, those three things, they pay you when you perform your duties.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you work for as a speaker and they pay, okay, you said you went to a talk show, you spoke, or you were speaking at a talk show. You were talking about the issues of disability, the issues of women talking about pregnancy, whatever. They spoke about an hour, and then the company paid them $10,000 because they spoke about very important issues that people face that everybody should know about and should understand. So,
Hmm.
with that said, that company, instead of having them pay you a flat check for $10,000, they can pay you on a gradual basis. Meaning, if you do a good job and you're able to do this and you can deal with that, then maybe in 6 months or a year, you've done such a good job that you can now cut off your SSI, your government benefits, and do it on your own because the people you are working for know your issue and pay you on a gradual basis. Whereas in most cases, you do your performance, you do your comedy, you do your public speaking, and they pay you a check and you move on.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And um so what so you sorry, let me looking ahead, what do you think that you would like was there a message or takeaway would you like our listeners to remember or think about supporting and empowering disabled Americans?
Okay, what we need is we need, like, let's just say we get 50 people with disabilities. These are people that can go out there and work and do something. If we can get 50 people out there with disabilities and maybe 50 attorneys or an attorney for every state or every county talking about the issue, they'll be the speakers about the issue, saying, hey, listen, these people want to work and do something, but without legislation, they can't do that. So we are the speakers. I am the attorney, and I want to be able to speak to legislation about these issues and benefit everybody because they're dealing with higher power people that can discuss the issue. Many people with disabilities, like myself, wouldn't be able to explain it in detail, and I can go
Mhm.
different directions if I were to do my speaking to them, and they just say, you're wasting our time. But with people who are more experienced in speaking, who want to be on the team, they can help the disabled speak or send their message so that we can work, so that we can have legal assistance. There's no legal assistance for unrelated to crime. There's no legal assistance to civil cases regarding probate, regarding other issues that affect the disabled person. So,
Mhm.
with legislation, there should be a program out there to help the employment aspect of it and to help the legal aspect of it under certain circumstances.
Okay. And so, in your life, how do you think, uh, sort of rounding up those, 2 people per state that you're talking about, how do you think that should be done? That should be accomplished?
That should be accomplished by us speaking to the public about it, um, and saying, and people who are attorneys who are into helping those disabilities hear that there's not one person, but there's 25 people with disabilities that need help. Maybe I can help them. Maybe I can be the speaker. Maybe I can go on to some show and discuss the issue so that we are all part of that, not just one person, not just myself, but 25 people, for example. And the more we get, then they're able to send the message to the attorney or whoever can speak on the issue and make it much bigger so that people can make money and work and Social Security won't be uh, broke in 10 years from what they say. They're not going to have any money left um, to pay the 50 to 70 million.
Sorry, Zylo, I think we disconnected here.